Ray Lewis could read an offense before the quarterback even knew what play was being called. He'd diagnose formations in seconds, call out the play at the line, and be waiting in the exact right spot when the ball was snapped. He wasn't just a linebacker, he was a field general, a chess master in pads. Ray Lewis is the smartest player I've ever seen. Over his 17-year career, Lewis recorded over 2,000 tackles, went to 13 Pro Bowls, won 2 Super Bowls, and anchored the greatest defense in NFL history. But his stats don't tell the full story. Ray Lewis changed games with his brain before his body ever made contact.
My stepfather hit my mama so hard in the face, I called her. And I looked at him with this rage and this pain in my eyes. I ran to my garage and I grabbed this deck of cards. And I flipped a 7, and I started doing 7 push-ups. I flipped a 6, I did 6. I flipped a 9, I did 9. I flipped a 2, I did 2. I flipped another 9, I did 9. Until I got all the way through the deck. Jack, Queen, King wrote 10. Jack, Aces 25s, and Jokers 50. Until I got sick and tired of what pain felt like in my gut. Because I wanted to make sure sports wasn't the reason why I started training. It was to make sure man never put his hands on my mama again.
So how did a kid from Bartow, Florida become the smartest and most feared player the NFL has ever seen? Ray Lewis was born on May 15th, 1975 in Bartow, Florida. His childhood wasn't easy. His father left when Ray was young, and his mother, Sansaria, worked multiple jobs to provide for Ray and his siblings. Money was tight, life was hard, but Ray's mother taught him something that would define his entire life: work ethic. She told him that if he wanted something, he had to earn it. Nothing would be handed to him. And Ray took that message to heart. At Kathleen High School in Lakeland, Florida, Ray Lewis was a monster. He played linebacker and running back, and he dominated on both sides of the ball. As a senior, he rushed for over 1,000 yards and recorded 160 tackles. But what separated Ray from other high school stars wasn't just his physicality, it was his understanding of the game. He knew where every player was supposed to be on every play. Coaches noticed that Ray studied film obsessively. He'd watch tape for hours, breaking down opposing offenses, learning tendencies, finding weaknesses. While other players relied on talent, Ray relied on preparation, and that combination made him unstoppable. He was named a USA Today High School All-American and had offers from programs all over the country, but Ray chose to stay close to home. He committed to the University of Miami. When Ray Lewis arrived at the U in 1993, Miami already had a reputation as linebacker U. The program had produced legends like Michael Barrow and Jesse Armstead. Ray was just the next in line. As a freshman, he didn't start, but he studied. He watched the older linebackers, learned their techniques, absorbed everything he could, and when his opportunity came in his sophomore year, he seized it. In 1994, Ray became a full-time starter and immediately made an impact. He recorded 89 tackles and showed flashes of brilliance. But it was his junior year in 1995 when Ray Lewis truly became a star. That season, Ray put up 160 tackles, 4 sacks, and 2 interceptions. He was named a first-team All-American and won the Big East Defensive Player of the Year award. But the stats don't capture what made Ray special. He was always in the right place at the right time. Teammates marveled at how Ray seemed to know what play was coming before it happened. He'd call out formations, adjust the defense on the fly, and then make the tackle exactly where he predicted. His football IQ was off the charts. But more than that, Ray was a leader. He was vocal, intense, emotional. He'd fire up his teammates before games with speeches that gave them chills. At just 20 years old, Ray Lewis was already the heartbeat of Miami's defense. After his junior season, Ray declared for the 1996 NFL Draft. He was ready to take his intelligence and intensity to the next level. The 1996 NFL Draft was loaded with talent, but when the Baltimore Ravens selected Ray Lewis with the 26th overall pick, they knew they were getting something special.
The Baltimore Ravens have selected Ray Lewis, linebacker, University of Miami.
Baltimore was a new franchise, having just relocated from Cleveland. They needed a leader. They needed an identity. And in Ray Lewis, they found both. As a rookie, Ray started all 16 games and immediately established himself as one of the best young linebackers in football. He recorded 110 tackles and showed the same instincts that made him great at Miami. But he was still learning the NFL game. The speed was faster. The offenses were more complex. The quarterbacks were smarter. But Ray adapted. He studied film relentlessly, often staying at the facility until midnight watching tape. He'd break down every formation, every tendency, every trick play. I needed to know what they were going to do before they did it. By his second season in 1997, Ray was a force. He put up 184 tackles and was named to his first Pro Bowl. Offensive coordinators were already game planning specifically to avoid him, but you couldn't avoid Ray Lewis. He was everywhere, and the more film he watched, the smarter he got. He started recognizing plays based on how a guard would set his feet. He'd know if a pass was coming based on the tight end's alignment. He could diagnose an offense faster than most coaches. By 2000, Ray Lewis had become the unquestioned leader of the Ravens defense, and that defense was about to make history. The 2000 Baltimore Ravens allowed just 165 points all season. That's 10.3 points per game, the fewest in NFL history since the league went to a 16-game schedule. They had 4 shutouts. They held opponents under 10 points in 12 games, and Ray Lewis was the mastermind behind it all. Ray was like having a coach on the field. Before every snap, Ray would survey the offense, identify the formation, call out adjustments, and position his teammates. He knew what was coming before the ball was even snapped. Quarterbacks hated playing against him because he'd call out their plays at the line. In one game against the Bengals, Ray called out counter before the snap. The Bengals ran a counter play. Ray was waiting and made the tackle for a loss. The next play, Ray yelled, "Screen." The Bengals threw a screen. Ray blew it up. Cincinnati's offensive coordinator was furious. How did Ray know? Film study, preparation, intelligence. Ray finished the 2000 season with 138 tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 interceptions. But his impact went beyond stats. He made every player around him better. He was the quarterback of the defense, and he orchestrated a masterpiece. The Ravens went 12-4 and entered the playoffs as a dangerous team with an unstoppable defense. In the divisional round, they shut out the Broncos 21-3. In the AFC Championship, they demolished the Raiders 16-3. And then came Super Bowl 35 against the New York Giants. The Ravens' defense was suffocating. They held the Giants to just 152 total yards and forced 5 turnovers. Ray Lewis was everywhere, recording 5 tackles. The Ravens won 34-7 in a dominant performance. After the game, Ray Lewis was named Super Bowl MVP, and he celebrated the only way Ray Lewis could, with pure, unfiltered emotion. But more importantly, Ray had cemented himself as the best defensive player in football, and at just 24 years old, he was just getting started. After winning the Super Bowl, Ray Lewis didn't slow down. If anything, he got better. In 2003, he won his NFL Defensive Player of the Year award after recording 161 tackles, 6 sacks, and 2 interceptions. He was a first-team All-Pro and made his 7th Pro Bowl. Then in 2004, he did it again. 146 tackles, 4 sacks. Ray was in his prime, and no one in the league could match his combination of intelligence and intensity. He played the game like every snap was personal. But Ray's greatness wasn't just about his play on the field. It was about his leadership. Before every game, Ray would gather his teammates and deliver speeches that became legendary. He'd scream, cry, pace back and forth, and by the time he was done, his teammates were ready to run through a wall. His pregame dance became iconic. Ray would bounce, wave his arms, and get the entire stadium hyped. It wasn't just a routine, it was a ritual, a way for Ray to channel all his emotion and energy before kickoff. And when the game started, that energy translated to the field. Ray played with a fury that was unmatched. He'd hit running backs so hard they'd think twice about coming back through the middle. He'd chase down quarterbacks from sideline to sideline, and he'd call out plays like he wrote the opposing team's playbook. By the late 2000s, Ray Lewis was no longer just a great player. He was a living legend. In 2012, at 37 years old, Ray Lewis suffered a torn triceps in a game against the Cowboys. It was week 6. The injury was devastating. Most players Ray's age would have retired on the spot, but not Ray. He underwent surgery and vowed to return before the season ended. Doctors were skeptical. His teammates were hopeful but realistic. A 37-year-old linebacker coming back from a torn triceps in the same season? It seemed impossible. But Ray Lewis didn't deal in impossible. He rehabbed like a man possessed. He pushed his body to the limit, and in week 17, just 10 weeks after surgery, Ray Lewis returned to the field. "This is my last ride." Ray announced that 2012 would be his final season, and he was going to go out on his terms. The Ravens made the playoffs, and Ray was back at full strength. In the divisional round against the Broncos, Ray had 17 tackles in a double overtime thriller that Baltimore won 38-35. In the AFC Championship against the Patriots, Ray had 14 tackles as the Ravens punched their ticket to Super Bowl 47. And in New Orleans, the San Francisco 49ers, Ray Lewis played his final game. The Ravens won 34-31 in a back-and-forth classic. And when the clock hit 0, Ray Lewis collapsed on the field in tears. He had done it. One last Super Bowl, one last championship, one last ride. Ray Lewis retired after the 2012 season with a resume that few can match. 2,059 career tackles, 13 Pro Bowls, 7 first-team All-Pros, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, 2 Super Bowl rings, and a Super Bowl MVP. But his legacy isn't just about numbers, it's about what he represented. Ray Lewis was the smartest player in NFL history. He studied film like a coach. He diagnosed plays like a savant. He made every player around him better because he knew where they needed to be before they did. Ray didn't just play the game, he mastered it. But beyond the intelligence, Ray brought an intensity and passion that was unmatched. He played every snap like it was his last. He led with emotion and fire, and he inspired an entire generation of linebackers to play the game with the same fury. In 2018, Ray Lewis was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on his first ballot. His speech was emotional, powerful, and vintage Ray. He thanked his mother, his teammates, and the city of Baltimore. And he reminded everyone that greatness isn't just about talent, it's about preparation, sacrifice, and heart. Ray Lewis proved that you don't have to be the biggest or the fastest to be the best. You just have to be the smartest, and the hardest working, and the most passionate. There will never be another Ray Lewis, a player who combined elite intelligence with unmatched intensity, a player who could read an offense like a book and then deliver a hit that left you seeing stars. Ray Lewis wasn't just the smartest player in NFL history, he was one of the greatest to ever play the game. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the Football Explained for more breakdowns like this. We'll see you in the next one.